Oh gang, don't get to see many of these anymore, do you? It's a 626 Coupe, 1982 model. But back in the day, the Mazda, as I recall, we had the heads off these quite a bit. Used to rot the cylinder heads out. This one's had a deleter of the air pump, and it's here because of ta-da! She's 40 years old. I'm going to say that this has probably had the head off it a couple of times, at least once in its life. How many kilometres on this thing? I can't see that. I'll have a look later and tell you. So that's what I'm going to do to this one. I'll pull the head off. It's been a while. Maybe some of the old mechanics might remember playing around with them. Let's have a look in there, eh? Looks like a minute since that one's been undone. Let's hope they don't snap off. Got to get this shield off the exhaust so we can get onto the bolts. Pull the manifold out of it. Now these old things, oh yeah, she's going to go. I say she's going to go, I mean she's going to go snap. Now, I'll just keep working it back and forwards. I've got to take the water pump off the front of this, because down in there, right here, is a tensioner cover, so I've got to get the stuck nearly edge, just stuck down there. Got to get the water pump off it, and I'm going to work on the exhaust here for a while, and we'll get that undone, and come back when we get into the inside of it. 173,000. Yeah. The more I look, I don't think it actually has had the head off it. It's these are really stubborn. I'll just keep working away. I've got 4 to go. Then I've got to go and work on the rest of this, and I've got another pipe down there. All antiquated emissions bullshit that never worked in the beginning, so I should just bloody probably delete it, but not my call. Yeah, no fatalities. I got all the bolts out, and I didn't break any, so that's good. There are inserts. This has a plate. There's a plate. There's little inserts that surround the injectors, the air injectors there. I'll have to get that off later. This has all been 40 years. It's never been touched, I suppose. So, looking around at it, I can see that this one is very much cleaner than all the others. And in the spark plugs department, that's the plug that came out of that cylinder, and you can see it's much cleaner. And so that's where our issue is going to be, and I still think it's going to have eaten the head away, but we'll soon see. That's about this side done, with the exception of the distributor. I'll go around the other side now and get that all pulled apart, and then we can get on with pulling the cylinder head off. Both manifolds now off, we're all clear. I have the water pump off. You can see down here where the tensioner is housed. We'll get onto that a little bit later. I'm just going to take the valve cover off it, because then I'll swing the engine around, and and we'll find top dead center. Yeah, she's a bit milky up in there. She's a tad milky. The head bolts also hold down all the rocker gear. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to roll this around until these are on the back of the can. The lobes are on the back. And these guys will be rocking, which is pretty much where that is. It's almost the top dead center number 4 at the moment. I guess if we cared to have a look down here, there'll be a marker somewhere. Can't feel it, but it'll be there somewhere. So we'll roll that around and get him on top dead center number 1. So I'll just roll this around with the ratchet. We'll watch for these. Here we go. Look. Exhaust is opening, closing, and the inlet's just coming up now. There we go. That should be top dead. Look at this. Here we go. Right there. That's just before. So there's our top dead centre right there. Now we'll pull the dizzy out of it. I'll pull the tensioner cover off it, loosen this off before I take the tensioner out of it, and proceed to unbolt the cylinder head. This is removed. Take this cover off now. I've got to watch with the music that's in the background because the tiny little bolts, eh? I'm going to be into trouble, so I'll just talk there briefly. I'll get this off, I'll come back when I've got this opened up and give you a look inside. Can you see in there? I can't see much. I've just told you guys there. See the little arm that's swinging down there? We pull that, when we're installing, we pull that down and we stick a little pin in there. I don't think I've got any, I might have a little pin just to reposition that little arm. We draw the, otherwise we just pull it out and it all falls apart in the hand, which is most likely which way it's going to go. There is a bolt just here, don't forget that one. Zig. Alright, I'll undo this bloke. Got a little tab there. Undo this bloke. And then it's ready for the head bolts to come off. Okay, so now just got to undo the 2 bolts. Undo the 2 bolts. Got the other fellow loose. Down here. I don't know if I can do it while you're with me here. It's going to be awkward because stuff goes all over the place. One bolt. And she's all gooby in there too, so. Things are going to go fling, so I'm going to have to put you guys down for a bit while I manoeuvre that out. So she's out, and this is how it comes out. Comes out in 3 bits. These are pretty hard to lose, but right in here is a tiny little spring, and that's the bit we don't want to lose. Remember, this is sitting in the thing like this, and the spring is on the bottom, sitting in there like that, and the spring is on the bottom. So once that comes out, the spring's open to bye-bye land. So I'm going to put all that back together again. I'll find a pin, I'll put this in position through that pinhole there. That'll hold that all together. And okay, with that all out, time to lift the lid. Oh, we bought one of these nearly a year ago now. These things, this is just a fantastic little You can get it in anywhere, even like, believe it or not, it'll undo a balancer. Head bolts, no issue. And done. Best thing I ever bought. This bit's pretty easy. Just lever the rocket gear up, and then all the bolts will come up with it. The gear's then able to slide off. We pull the cam out this way, and we take the gear out of it, and we just let it all fall down in the hole.
See how that come out? It does want a spring on a part.
Or I just leave it in the valve cover like that. When it comes time to put it back together again, we'll worry about it then. I just knock this little rubber out of the back here, the seal. Oh, nearly lost it. And the cam will slide you out off the end here. I'll just help it come off the end there. Obviously stuck. But let's give it a bit of a tap. They'll come apart. Put the cam on the bench. Put the gear on the bench. Lift the head off it. Yeah, well, not hard to tell which has got the issue here, is it? Cleans up like a brand new piston. The others, we've got a bit of something going on there. Probably a bit of blow-by. This gasket is really stuck. It's been on there for a while, no doubt. Might have to get a thing. There we go, that's where it was, right there, look. I haven't even been into that yet. Here's our issue. Where's my torch gone? There it is. Right there. You can see it's all blown out. Hang on, let's get the wipey. Even so the gasket's moved, look. It's not even over the hole, the complete hole. Yeah. That's it, alright. That's where she's gone. Right there. Let's get in there, look at that. Yeah, she's right through the fire ring into the head gasket. Well, that's not so bad then. We won't need to find another cylinder head for it. So that's not bad. It's better. Okay. Easily found what the problem is. No mysteries. And yeah, I've just left that in there because it holds the chain up. It's not in the way. Yeah. And she was no longer round either, was she? No. Bonza. Okay. I really was expecting. Let's go and have a look at the head. I really was expecting the head to be rolled out. Up in the back corner. It doesn't appear to be though, does it? Looks. Yeah, the fire ring's shifted. It's all shifted over, and that's what allowed it to blow. When did it do that in its life? I have no idea. But we'll get this all serviced and sorted out and put him all back on. The head came back. It's the following day, by the way. Didn't get it serviced. Just got it surface ground, flattened up. It's like old day central here. We got the Maz, got the HZ, and over there there's a Gemini. I just put a automatic transmission in it. Did a conversion. There's all this other stuff on the floor over there. But we got our gear back. We've got our stuff. We need to prepare the block with you know what. Yeah, you know it. So I'm gonna paint her on there, get the head gasket on there. Yeah, put it back together and give it back to the bloke this afternoon. We've got a long way to the gasket. You can see it's got impregnated chamoisol in there, but it's a composite one. Here's something you might have known. When you get the cylinder heads machined, there's a minimum head height from bottom to the top of the head, so that it doesn't disrupt the cam geometry when the chain. Otherwise, you'll retard the chain. Make it short. Advance the chain. No, retard it. Whichever way it goes, it's not right. Good old-fashioned head bolt torque. They're not torque to yield, so go and whack this on and whack the cylinder head down on it. Then we'll proceed to put the rest of the carry-on there before we can torque him down. Now, if we've done it right, that'll be at 12 o'clock. With tension on the tension on this side of the belt, this side of the chain belt, and these lobes here. This is indicating that we're now on top to center number 1 still, or again. And just to let you know, if you do drop a bolt or something down in there, you can retrieve them. It's not a big deal. You just whack a magnet. So it's a little different going back on. We've got to put this on in one. So we've got to take the bolts out, put this on, because otherwise it's too much of a struggle. This will spring and springen. Everything wants to go apart, but it'll be fine once you get all the bolts in. And what don't line up, you can battle with. Sometimes they don't exactly line up. You have to wriggle them around a little bit. Get in as many as you can from the start. That'll stop them moving around and trying to jump off the head. Because they will, as I say, they want to just ping apart. And last one doesn't want to go for some reason. There we are. Look, he's trying to spring it out. There we go. Come on, in you go, you bugger. Alright, we bolt all these down. Then we'll come back, bolt the front end, then we can spin them around and we can do the valve lash. So I nip down the bolts, make sure that all these pedestals are sitting down where they're supposed to. They have locators in the the end and the centre one. Just make sure that they're all sitting down properly. Yep, all good. Next we'll do the torque. Put the bolt on, the nut on here, do our valve lash, and then we can probably put the valve cover on, and that's the top end sealed up. After we'll actually put the so if you're struggling to find a dowel or a pin or something, these get very floppy too, so they don't like to hold things together very well. So you whack a zip tie around it, put the joiner at the top, it goes in like that. Put the joiner at the top, that way you can get hold of it with a pair of pliers or even your finger and pull it out of there when you've got the bolts in. Bam! The tensioner is back in. Should pick up the slack. Yep, she's released. All happy days. So the lash on this one is 0.30 mil or 12 thousandths to an inch. I'll get out my 12. I'll show you the numbers. Anyway, that's the right size. And that's way tight. Loosen that bugger at the same time. What happens here too, see, I've struggled to, I dropped my feeler gauges, that's what I did. Struggling to screw the screw through the nut because the nut's been over tightened. I think I've gone on through this a few times before about over tightening these. You don't need to over tighten these. I'm going to find my feeler strips. Where'd they go, you bugger? Oh, no they didn't. There they are right there. And it makes it really difficult to get a nice feel for the lash. A little bit more. Like I said, when these have been over tightened, see, I can't even hold the screw tight. It's just going to want to keep turning on me. Well, I'll just keep moving along. And that's it right there. Happy days. So we'll go through the process. Well, I'm going to wait for a bit while I've got spark plugs and a water pump coming. But for now, I think we'll just release the shmoo. Oh yeah, that's the colour. Beautiful. We'll just let that roll for a bit. So there we are. It's about what it looks like before. I still have to, I've got a water pump, won't be coming till tomorrow. You guys won't need to see that, but I do want to start it up as soon as I get some spark plugs for it. And I'll fire it up. It's got clean oil in it, it's got a new oil filter on it. And make sure it runs on all 4 cylinders. And that'll be it till I get the water pump in. You know guys not going to see that. The car will be gone by the time this video comes out most likely. So yeah. So we got some new sparklers. Plug the leads on. And now where are we? Which were you? Advance pulls that way, rotations out those. 1, 3. That must be number 3. And that number 2. Well, probably have to run through the lash again. There's a little rattle there. Might have a tight one and a loose one. That's why. Yeah. I think it's got a tight valve, so that'll just need a relashing. Don't worry about that when the water pump comes. But it's all there, it's running. All is not in bad shape now. Once it's done a few heat soaks and cycles, it'll evaporate off all the moisture or any moisture in it. Yeah, okay. That'll do the end. That'll do me. The rest of it you don't need to see. Check you later. Have yourselves a good one.